So if we were all meeting virtually, I'll be asking everyone to give a big hands for now. So all of those are watching us via Zoom and via YouTube, please give them all big hands. And quite obviously, we can see there is a bright future for all of them ahead of this. So we're going to segue from here to our next section of our talk, which is hearing bit from our clients. Our clients have access to not only the insights our intern shared today, but also many more insights from the past 12 weeks. So we would like to reflect basically on 3 questions. What's the biggest reveal for them from their perspective from this project? Now, given those insights, what they feel is the biggest impact for their about this project for their organization. And now that they have access to a data-driven approach of doing things, what are the next steps for their organization, right? So given this insight, we're going to follow the same order of way we present the project. So we're going to first ask Betsy from CCR to share thoughts on those reflection questions. To make things easier, I'm going to put back those questions.
Thank you. It's hard to pin down just one big reveal because the students did such an amazing job of really digging into not just our data, but comparing that to the various different data sources. I think that the 2 things that stand out most to me and to our organization are, one, from a prevention and intervention perspective, the insights that the team brought to the resourcing issue in regards to first-year teachers and that mismatch of fit really that we're seeing with our really high need population of kids. It's something that we were aware of anecdotally, but the data has really made us think through that in a different way in how we may be able to make recommendations or provide a way to highlight better ways to find fit for resourcing specific schools related to the complex needs of the students who are in attendance there. And then second is more really about the kids and the families that we are serving. Initially, this project was really developed with a lens focused on that educational piece. And I think that we, just like the other 2 organizations that are participating in this, really have seen that any approach really has to be holistic. And the data really revealed that to us in a different way of just the basic needs and the basic barriers that kids and families need assistance with in order to overcome those barriers and in order to continue to move forward on these pathways out and away from the juvenile justice system. For us, the impact has been tremendous on us as an organization. We are small and new and still growing, which is very exciting for us because that means we can respond in very dynamic ways to what the data is telling us, which is letting us know that there are things within our model that we need to, or that we have an opportunity to rethink how we can best respond holistically to the needs of kids and families and advocate for them, as well as layer in these additional components of our team with resilience navigation. So our next steps are that we're going to be working on that. We're going to be working on implementing and furthering this idea of a legally informed family team meetings so that we are putting kids and families at the center of what we do from the very beginning and driving a holistic process that improves their connections at schools, improves their access to what they need in the community, and increases equity around what they are experiencing in their day-to-day.
Right. Thank you, Betsy. Next, we call on Marcus from Literacy Alliance to share his thoughts. Marcus?
Thank you, Professor, and thank you, Sat and Raj. It was really great to hear all of your reflections and your presentation and your data, and it was enormously helpful for us. So, I mean, I can share that what particularly stood out for us was the data regarding the goals, particularly its role in persistence and retention and ultimately the success of our students. we had been expanding that process over time, but what we didn't know was, really if it was making any difference. And so now that we've got this data, it's really kind of laying out a really clear picture for us about how important that goal setting process is. But it also helped us identify ways that we can take that goal setting process to then work on removing barriers for the students to be able to meet those goals and stay in the program. That's from an organizational standpoint. Personally, I'm really very pleased also that the insights that we got out of it will help us motivate our volunteer tutors and our instructors, because being able to kind of see how the process works and how the goal setting process is having an impact is going to be really inspiring to them. And the wicked problem, particularly that it addressed for us, was that we had always, or in the particularly the most recent past, been pretty good about developing our outcome measures in terms of looking at just basic scoring. So increases in scores, increases in education levels. But what we were really looking for was the drivers of those successes. So what was it behind those increases in scores that was really making that happen and would give us something to be able to latch on to really ensure that that continues and even strengthens even more. So with this research, we've obviously got a really great tool now for developing, monitoring, facilitating, particularly the goal attainment. And that will be what helps our adult learners get to where they eventually need to be. And so next step for us, several next steps for us, actually, I'm really happy to share some exciting news that we've just kind of put in place as a result of all of this. Another partnership with UNF. Thank you for UNF. We are partnering with the Social Work College out there, and we have an intern starting this fall that's going to particularly focus on social work and case management, and so be able to help us build that capacity for helping students break down those barriers to be able to stay in the program and meet their goals. Because a lot of our students, actually more than half of our students, are also female, we're actually also looking at developing that in a very gender responsive context, so that we can help those entire spectrum of individuals. And then obviously, with everybody knows, with everything going on with COVID, we have been in a situation where we're seeing increased need for the services, but also different kinds of needs ranging from digital literacy to workforce development. So what we're going to be able to do is put in all these goals in context. And so when we do that, we can provide that instruction to those students in a contextual basis, which really helps with their learning. And then finally, we're actually looking at, thank you to, particularly for, from Volunteer Florida, we have been given a planning grant to launch an AmeriCorps program for adult literacy. And so what this will enable us to do as we go through our planning process for this year to bring that on next year is put in place training and guidance for AmeriCorps members to focus in on those goals when they're working with adults in our community. So I can't thank you enough. It's an amazing opportunity that we've gotten to be able to do this. And again, Raj Suat and our team, Jessica Richter, who was involved with pulling the data and presenting it to you all. It was really amazing to see it all come together. So thank you.
Thank you, Marcus. Next, we call on Temple from ECS to share her thoughts. Temple.
Thank you. Before I reflect, I just want to take a moment to thank Dana, Kayla, and Vinay. I think a big piece of what made this so successful is that they were so passionate about the work, and they really asked me a lot of questions about what the needs were in the community and how we serve the children. And, you know, I shared success stories with them so they could really understand. And we have just been overwhelmed with the tool that they provided us. Our significant discovery revolves around the fact that, you know, our problem is that we have limited resources. We only have the funding to serve 405 children in Duval County, and we're trying to find the most vulnerable families and make the biggest impact. And so our vision was to just have a basic heat map that would guide us to where to find those families and serve them. And this decision tool that has been created by the team allows us to do so much more. It will really enhance our recruitment plan. As Kayla showed, that street level, being able to give our family services folks that information so that they can go in and canvass and visit those communities will be an amazing tool for us. In addition to helping our recruitment, the way they designed the tool so that you can really understand the relationship between the key indicators is going to help us with our staffing. We're going to be able to see what our staffing needs for Head Start and Early Head Start. They ask us to be culturally sensitive, and a lot of our children are dual language learners. And so we need to hire bilingual staff. And so this will help us identify where we can recruit for our staffing as well as our families. And it will also help us take a look at what services we can offer our families, what their needs are, deeper than what just our index requires for our screening. So we're really excited about that. In terms of what the next steps for our organization are, in the last couple meetings, all of our content area specialists that attend the meetings have just been dying to get their hands on this tool. And they've all given me feedback, and we're like, okay, we're just really ready to have it now, and we want access to it. And we want to start playing with it and seeing how we can address these needs. And so we're really excited to get our hands on this tool. In addition to getting our hands on this tool, the team has promised to give us instructions on how we can now take this data and, you know, not only have they set up this tool for us, but it's kind of like the teach a man to fish. Now they're going to teach us how to use and update this tool so that we can continue to utilize it for years to come. And in closing, I just want to thank Dr. Richard and Dr. Umapathy. They have made this really easy for our team, and we've just been amazed with the outcomes.
Thank you very much, Temple, for sharing that. So you guys may not believe it, coming up with project and submitting a project proposals does take courage. And in order to do that, they need to start collecting data and start thinking about it. So kudos to all three agencies and for them taking the lead in it and doing the hard work of having data with us, sharing with us, and providing a wonderful opportunity for us to teach our aspiring students how to be a data scientist too. So let's also give a big hands for all of our three organizations who have been taking part in here. They are truly the community leaders around us. So with that,